Hi everybody and welcome to the first of our nutrition video tutorials, and the aim of the course over the next few days is just to teach you guys at home a little bit more about nutrition and hopefully some things that you didn't already know, and also to try and aid those of you at home that are currently on a weight loss or weight gain program, or even just trying to eat healthier, in terms of giving you a few tips and ideas on how to do so. So by the end of the tutorials, hopefully you guys will be a bit more informed and have learned something that you didn't already know. So the first of the tutorials is going to be on calorie distribution and calorie consumption. As we go on through the videos, we'll learn a little bit more about the nutrients such as fat, vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates. But today I just want to keep the focus on calorie consumption and the amount of calories that we should be taking on board to either maintain or lose weight. Okie dokie. Okay, so first of all, calorie consumption. So what amount of calories should we be consuming per day? The national statistics, or on average, males should consume somewhere in the region of 2,500 calories per day. Females should be consuming in the region of 2,000 calories per day, and children somewhere around 1,600 calories per day. Now, if we're looking to lose weight, what we do need to do is create a calorific deficit, which means burning more calories than we're consuming, or consuming less calories than we're burning, whichever way you look at it. Obviously, if we're looking to maintain our weight, we need to keep the amount of calories that we burn and the amount of calories that we consume exactly the same. Or if we're looking to gain weight, for example, or if we're looking to gain lean muscle mass, we probably need to increase the amount of calories that we're eating beyond the amount that we're burning. Okay, so if we're looking to lose weight, what's the healthy calorific deficit that we would need? Well, to lose weight healthily over the course of a week or whatever period we're trying to achieve that, we need a calorific deficit of somewhere in the region of 500 calories. So if you're a female at home and you're currently burning on average, as we've said, 2,000 calories per day, if you're looking to lose weight, what you'd need to be looking for is a calorie consumption or taking on around 1,500 calories per day. And that would make for a 500 calorie deficit, of course. Look at that over the course of a week, and that's looking at a deficit of around 3,500 calories. Now, for gents, as we've already said, if we're looking to lose weight, gents on average burn around 2,500 calories, so we'd be looking for a calorie consumption of around 2,000 calories per day. The only one thing to bear in mind on this as well is if we do exercise at the moment, or we're taking part in an exercise regime, then obviously we will be burning more calories during the exercise and obviously after, as we're increasing the metabolism there. So we will be burning more calories than the national statistics. However, I still think that the figures that I've given you initially are good figures to work off if we're looking to lose weight. And obviously exercise, what that will do is help you burn more calories and lose more weight. So with that kind of deficit, we should be looking at losing anywhere between 1 and 2 pounds of healthy weight loss per week. As I've already said, if we eat the same amount of calories that we burn, we'll stay the same. But if we eat more calories than what we're burning, we will obviously gain weight, which is probably what most of us are not looking to do, or probably what we have done, and we're looking to send it in the opposite direction. Okay, the next thing we want to look at, now we know a little bit more about the numbers, just to say that we will go into more detail on the types of calories or good and bad nutrients in the calories as the tutorials go on. The next thing I want to look at in this mini video is calorie consumption and how we take on board calories throughout the day. Now, the best way to take on board calories throughout the day, and it's the way that the body uses the energy in general, is evenly. So if we look at the meals per day, generally we have breakfast, we have lunch and we have dinner. And for many of us, we might have a mid-morning snack or a mid-afternoon snack. Where the calories should be consumed there is completely evenly throughout the day. If we just missed out the snacks for the time being and used breakfast, lunch and dinner, it should be an even distribution of calories between the breakfast, the lunch and the dinner. So maybe somewhere in the region of 650 to 700 calories per meal. The reason for that is that the body uses energy evenly throughout the day, And therefore, that's why the calories should be consumed that way, to give your body an even amount of energy so that we don't get any highs or lows or dips, if you will, that most people I think do experience out there. Okay, now if we looked at the national statistics of how calories are actually consumed throughout the day, the graph looks something like this. It starts off, if we look at breakfast in the morning, in terms of calorie consumption, it tends to go up and up and up and up and up and up as the day goes on. Now, your average person out there gets up late, doesn't eat breakfast. I'm not a morning person, sometimes too busy for lunch. And then what tends to happen is most people are eating or consuming all of their calories at the back end of the day, when we get after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and even later as late as 7, 8 and 9 o'clock. Now, you're probably all aware of this. It's a familiar story. I get home from work, I've not eaten all day, I snack, I eat a really big meal, I snack later on. Now, what is the problem with eating calories this way or consuming calories this way? Well, the problem with that is that your metabolism, or the amount of calories you burn per day, generally burns calories, as we've discussed already, at an even rate throughout the day. Now, what tends to happen though, as we get towards the evening and we slow down and we sit down in front of the TV, we sat on the settee, we're not doing much physical activity, is that your metabolism slows right the way down. So, if you're consuming all of your calories at the back end of the day, but your metabolism is slowing down and down and down, what's going to happen? Well, we've got a problem, because if you're consuming a lot of calories and you're not burning them because your metabolism is slowing down and you're not exercising, for example, then you are much more likely to store those calories as a source of fat in the body than anything else. So you're not going to use them as energy because you're not moving around. Your body can't use them because you're not burning off any energy. So it basically says, what shall I do? I will store it as a source of fat, because for your body that's the best source of energy. Your body always wants to store everything as fat as it can, everything as fat if it can, but we don't really want it to do that. So the problem with consuming calories, if we look at the graph that way, is that you're much more likely to store the calories as a source of fat. Obviously, you sleep, you go to bed of an evening, and you're not burning calories there and then. So as you can imagine, all the food, all the calories are just sitting there being converted to fat, which is just not what we want. So hopefully you can see there from the first tutorial the amount of calories that we should be consuming per day, or what we need as a deficit to be able to lose weight healthily, as well as how the calories should be distributed evenly throughout the day. Just one last thing to touch on that we often come across, or you will often hear people say, is I'm not a morning person, I can't eat breakfast, so it's difficult for me to do this even calorie split. If you're not a morning person, I just need you to think that when you were born, you weren't born with a morning gene, an afternoon gene, or an evening gene. You've just basically got into bad habits of eating at the back end of the day and not eating in the morning. So one way to break this habit is to just eat your main meal of an evening, just your dinner. Let's say it's 5 or 6 o'clock, and then don't eat anything at all until your next meal, which would be breakfast the following day. So we've got a 12 or 13 hour gap there, meaning that when you do wake up in the morning, you will of course be hungry. The reason that you're not hungry potentially in the morning at the moment is because you've taken on board all the calories the evening before. You wake up, the calories are still there, the food's still sitting there, so you probably don't feel too hungry. So a tip for you: make sure that the last meal you eat, don't eat anything from around 6 p.m. or even as early as 5 p.m. if you're not a morning person, this is, and then wake up the next morning, and what will happen is you will be hungry. So first tutorial finished, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the next one. See you soon.